Hello everyone, Nigad here, and welcome to another match of LittleWarGame. Today, I am bringing you a replay that was posted by WeirdRat on the LittleWarGame Discords. From the chat messages, we can see that it is a ranked match between Rynus, playing with the red pieces on the top of Ravaged, and WeirdRat, playing with the blue pieces on the bottom right of Ravaged. Rynus, a name we haven't heard from in a little bit. One of the better players that plays LittleWarGame. And we're going right into the action. So I've never seen this replay before. WeirdRat did post it. And so it's just going to be curious to see what Rynus decides to go for. He's very well known for his mech playstyle. Even diversifying his playstyle, actually, where he's been recently going for a Rax opening and then transitioning into mech, but wildly well known for his 2-base all-ins that he goes for. Looks like we're going to be seeing a Rax opening, and I'm curious to see why Rynus has this worker over on this side of the map. So he might be trying to convince his opponent that he's going for a standard Rax opening if WeirdRat is able to scout this out. But he might be going for a 2-Rax play. And in this location, of all locations that he could go for, typically when you see 2-Rax, you place it in this area. But WeirdRat might be scouting that area later on, so it'll be very interesting to see. While the Raiders, or while the Rax, rather, are building, I just want to shout out my channel really quickly, mention some things. If you really enjoy watching LittleWarGame videos, or maybe you're enjoying watching my content and you think that they're great, I would ask that you reward me with going ahead and leaving a like down in the description. It helps with the channel, especially as we're trying to grow the LittleWarGame community, but as well as the channel. It helps out, and it tells more people that our game is relatively well known. And then again, if you want to watch additional LittleWarGame content that I post into the future, go ahead and subscribe. That'd be amazing. Alright guys, so let's get back into the action. Raider versus Raider. We do see that Rynus is in the middle of building 2 Raiders, one from here, and WeirdRat has no information on this. In fact, let's take a look at the information WeirdRat has. So he hasn't scouted around the map. I typically like to scout around the map. WeirdRat deciding not to be very aggressive into Rynus's Raider here. And Rynus is going to go ahead and reveal himself. WeirdRat waited for this second Raider to spawn before he moved forward. And this is going to have some huge tells for WeirdRat. The fact that this Raider showed up so quickly, he immediately cancels the castle and he decides to get a watchtower. Is now pulling 5-6 workers. Rynus using his worker in this as well. He has to respect the fact that WeirdRat has pulled so many workers, flashing forward to get some damage in. So WeirdRat just lost a Raider right there, which is huge. Rynus living off a sliver of health. He probably had a single health point when WeirdRat had finished that blink forward, going for a tower now. WeirdRat is aware of it, so that's why I checked the vision actually, because now you can see that the buildings are aware of it. Watchtower does finish. It is in range of this tower. Rynus does immediately decide to cancel it, and Rynus also has gold in bank, but he decides to keep this push going. So that was the whole reason why he left this worker here. And Rynus double blinking. WeirdRat is able to kill. There's like no workers mining right now. Rynus could get a second base and be 100% fine here. Yes, yeah, we need to take a look at the income. So Rynus, despite going for the cheese, despite going for the more aggressive option, is ahead because Square Root has 4 less workers, but also is ahead because WeirdRat has just stopped mining. Let's take a look at the gold. Yeah, about 200 gold ahead, Rynus is. So going for a very nice opening here, controlling the Raiders. WeirdRat going for a house. Okay, This might trigger WeirdRat to go for an all-in of his own, and whoa, Rynus blinking forward and catching that raider. I was not expecting him to do that. WeirdRat having to move back, having to stay in this watchtower zone to just respect the control and the pressure that Rynus is exuding here. Rynus is going for the second base now, going for a third base, realizing that he's so far ahead of WeirdRat that he can go for 2 expansions at the same time and not even have to worry about it. I'd love to see Rynus starting to build workers again, so he does just decide to do that. WeirdRat at the same time getting a bird, and birds will allow WeirdRat to scout out the map and see what's going on. Very, very big of Rynus to go for this double expand. That's actually never seen frequently. WeirdRat, having placed this house here, is going to have to place his castle in this location, and it also reduces the not the distance, but the space where units can approach from, especially if they want to get into the base there. Rynus respecting the watchtower and the blink forward by WeirdRat, and now WeirdRat sees for the first time the other side of the map with this bird. Doesn't scout the third base location, so he thinks that this is just a regular workshop transition. So he might just, yeah, he's starting to build archers. He's gonna get some worker transfers going. So yeah, WeirdRat is just, he doesn't know about this third base yet, and once he does, I'm going to be very curious to see what his response is. So he should be aware of it now. Decides to get an airship, an advanced workshop. So he wants to go to the other side of the map as soon as he possibly can and try to put some pressure on his opponent. Even sending out his raiders, blinking through this ledge, just so that Rynus would not be able to see what's going on, and going for a fortress. So WeirdRat, seeing that Rynus went extremely greedy and saying, I need to do something about this. If I let Rynus get 3 bases while I just have my 2, then I'm probably going to lose. And so Rynus defensive catapults, which are fantastic. Also getting archers to deal with the birds. Even more production from Rynus. But pretty much just workers. Rynus has just primarily been building workers. This raider harassment is also going to come as a surprise to Rynus as well, I'm very sure, because he has the soft contain on his opponent, but he did not see the fact that these raiders are back, and in fact he responds immediately by blinking back 2 raiders, workers moving to the front lines to get closer to the raiders that are moving over to defend them. Rynus also needs to get these raiders here so that he can defend his main base and defend his catapults. Looks like he's going to try to go for a catapult drop with that airship that's being produced. WeirdRat sending a worker with these archers to secure a third base. Let's go ahead and take a look at the worker count between both of these players. Rynus on 22 workers, WeirdRat on 19. So relatively even economy. Rynus with the slight lead. Actually, everything with all that's happened, Rynus is only about 200 gold ahead of WeirdRat at this point, and now WeirdRat has scouting information on his opponent. Rynus going for a tower, and with these defensive towers, that's going to mean that WeirdRat is going to be very soon in the driver's seat. Another worker killed, so again, the worker polarity is going to be very similar very soon. Rynus is going to lose another worker, has to send more workers to repair, does eventually get this watchtower up. WeirdRat does lose a raider right there. But WeirdRat, or Rynus rather, having the 2 bases, oh, weird. That's very funny that Rynus gets some accidental scouting intel about WeirdRat getting a third base based off of this barracks being here. And now WeirdRat is going to be able to see that this barracks was in this area, is sending his archers to go ahead and remove that. Catapult drop will be scouted by WeirdRat just briefly. I'm very curious to see if he would have looked at his mini-map long enough to know that that was about to come his direction. I'm sure he would be moving his archers back to his main if he did notice that. So it looks like he did not. Bird still available for WeirdRat. More workshops being built for Rynus. And I'd love to see Rynus build more workers as well. We do see the catapult drops. Good. Ooh, WeirdRat not responding just yet. Now does respond. A lot of damage on those workers. Looks like catapults are being are attacking those units here. And now Rynus is also going to be able to see the fact that these dragons are coming out. He should have already seen the fact that the fortress was there, but the fact that the dragons are out in particular should give Rynus all the information he needs to know. And he most definitely needs to pick up these catapults if he wants to save them. But it looks like he's just going to prioritize worker kills. So he doesn't very much mind that the dragon is eventually going to shut down this drop. He just wants the worker kills, and the dragon is going to kill. So yeah, so he decides, I'm going to go ahead and leave behind the catapults. Workers go ahead and take care of that. Dragons will go ahead and take care of the airship if WeirdRat spots it. Looks like they just barely miss each other. Rynus with the worker in this space. Very curious if he decides to do something there. Oh, Rynus, your response is quite quite exaggerated here. So getting 2 houses, trying to get unsupply blocked. So Rynus was severely supply blocked here, staying on 60 supply versus WeirdRat not being supply blocked, but also on 60 supply. Getting 2 towers at each base, a tower here, as well as getting ballista. So Rynus is going to have much defense, way more than actually what's needed. Probably just that ballista and that airship is probably all that was needed at the moment. But WeirdRat going for this dragon play did force a lot out of Rynus in terms of defenses. Both on 30 workers. Let's go ahead again and look at the economy. Rynus is ahead in terms of gold mine. He's lost about 300 gold more than his opponent. So Rynus, everything said, is about 100 gold ahead of his opponent. However, we do see that 2 workers right next to Rynus's main base are not working, and a lot of gold that Rynus made is going into these watchtowers. It looks like Rynus is beginning to assemble a little bit of a push here, and this is the classic Rynus thing to do. Rynus likes to get a lot of these workers together to be on auto repair. They'll repair the catapults that move on to the other side of the map, and he's even got ballista in these airships, not watchtowers, airships, to make sure that he can deal with dragons if they come around. WeirdRat doing a very nice tactic, realizing that his opponent went for so much defense at home to deal with the dragons that he doesn't really need to build any more dragons now. He can just transfer or transition into beast play. However, as he's transitioning, Rynus is making a push for WeirdRat's base. Obviously, Rynus, not DC. Why did I say DC? I don't know why. But yes, Rynus needs to kill one of these bases because WeirdRat at the moment is extremely vulnerable. Caught perfectly at a timing where WeirdRat was transitioning. However, we do see a huge worker pull, which is going to surround all of Rynus's army here, and it's not necessarily an all-in from Rynus, but losing a lot of this army is going to be a very considerable thought on Rynus's mind. You definitely did not want to lose all of your army here. However, WeirdRat did lose a couple of workers, about 10 workers, to make that push or make that surround happen. And now we have 22 workers versus 33. If Rynus is able to stabilize, then we should see that that he could out eco his opponent again. Oh, ballista, drop. Oh, he wasn't able to drop the ballista, and as a result, he does end up losing more ballista. So as we can see, Rynus having lost about 1,500 gold means again we're in a balanced position. Like both players are in the exact same state in terms of gold being mined and harvested throughout this match here. Rynus saying, lol, 40 workers for Rynus, just 22. As the game continues, we'll see that Rynus should be mining more and more gold, going for additional catapults, workers with the army. I'd actually love to see more workers pulled in to be with this army. Workers are fantastic units to have in an army, especially a mech army. WeirdRat expanding to a 4th base as well as a 3rd base. So despite Rynus having the worker advantage, he doesn't have the base advantage, and I definitely would love to see him expand and go for another base. Rynus again going for a little bit of a push. He's trying to get as much pressure as he can to force WeirdRat to go home and consolidate his army so that he can just simply get one of these bases going. But let's go ahead and... Uh-oh, that's not good. I realize why Rynus is having such a hard time expanding. His production isn't good enough to support his economy, and Rynus realizes that. He shows that he's floating 1k gold. But this is Rynus's playstyle. He's one of these players that focuses more on the fighting rather than the macro, and very soon he's going to be floating 2k. I'd love to see him just place like 3 additional watchtowers, keep producing, and then just start trying to secure one of your bases. But instead it looks like he is going to be going for an all-in. It looks like this might be all-in. I'm not exactly sure. It's definitely a strong push here. Ooh, this is good. WeirdRat with a bit of a flank here. Actually, a huge flank, especially as WeirdRat has units here. And he does decide to pull the trigger. Rynus with watchtowers here is going to have some defenses come up eventually. WeirdRat is flanking again, so the flanks are happening. Rynus with the airship should be able to micro some of these things, making sure that his army stays safe against these dragons. Ballista, not enough space to come down, eventually do come down. And then, again, Rynus decides to GG. Really well played, that flank, transitioning into the beast. Rynus going for his tried and true, the standard 2 base mech push, but this time on 3 base. It's very interesting. Again, if you enjoyed watching this video, let me know. Let me know what your favorite part about it was in the comments down below. I'd love to see you guys in the next video.